I'm Bob McDonough, the Administrator for Economic Development for the City of Tampa. I don't have to try to generate enthusiasm or excitement for this project because it's obviously already here. This is a tremendous place where old and new neighborhoods, downtown, everything's coming together in one place. We have the park under development, we have the Riverwalk, we have the springs, and now we have the restaurant. And I have had the pleasure of working with the Gonzmart family now since they were chosen to develop this property. And I can tell you that this is not a business deal, this is not a real estate deal. This is a vision by the family. Long known for their excellence in food, they have seized upon this opportunity as a way of continuing their legacy in the city of Tampa. Their family grew up near here, they have a history of it, and I've never been involved in a real estate transaction where the business terms were secondary to the enthusiasm and the enjoyment of the potential. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Richard Gonzmart, please.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank the mayor, the city council for their belief in our family that we will make a difference in the Tampa Heights area. I've been really blessed. I've met so many people along the way, and one person that's particularly important was Lena Young from the Tampa Heights Civic Association, and what she's doing, a commitment in a church here on Palm and the interstate, 2 blocks from where my grandparents and mother lived on Central and 7th Avenue. And that's teaching young children to study, that there's a future, and that they're building a kitchen so we could teach that there's great opportunity in the hospitality industry, the leading employer in the state of Florida. And that's what this family's about, is building self-esteem and pride in the community, and putting people back to work, and hoping that we can employ young people from the D.W. Waters High School, from the Tampa Civic Heights Junior Association, from Metropolitan Ministries, which is teaching young people about the industry, as well as Booster Votech's hospitality program. We've met with each of them, and we're going to partner. Like Mr. McDonough said, this is more than just a business, it's a commitment to a community, to employ, to give hope, build self-esteem, and bring life to this beautiful riverfront. My wife and I, when we first got married, and we lived on the river out in West Tampa. Our first child, Lauren, was born when we lived there. We live on the river. We work, we live, and we want to play here. I see and envision a day that there'll be water taxis going up and down the river from Channel Side, stopping at the History Center, stopping at the Convention Center, Curtis Hickson Park, at the Strat Center, and at Ulele, where you can come as a citizen for very little money and enjoy this beautiful river, to see what it feels like walking along, being on the river. And when the river walk is complete, I could see strolling with my grandchildren along and telling the stories of when I was a child and what was there and what has become because of the vision of our mayor and the past mayors. When I first saw this building, when Bill Rain told me about it, I looked at it, and I love historical buildings, and as I drive by my grandfather's house every day, on the way here from the Columbia, I could just imagine that this was the source for the city of Tampa water from 1903 to the 30s, that this was the water my great-grandfather and my grandparents used to make garbanzo bean soup. And so many of you don't realize that the Columbia actually started in 1903, December 17th. It was known as the Columbia Saloon. The Florida brewery opened a saloon to sell their beer. Who was the general manager of the Florida brewery? Casimiro Hernandez Sr., my great-grandfather. So that's why it was important today to build a brewery. And with the help of the family of Cigar City Beers, they're helping us develop some beers that would be unique to this area. Back in 1905, business was done when you did business with families, independents. You sourced the foods from your area because there wasn't transportation. That's when stone crabs and Florida lobster were inexpensive before the airplanes. And that's our goal again today, and that's the way it's been, is to work with families to work with independent businesses that are located in Tampa Bay as much as possible in Florida, and definitely within the United States. I'm hopeful that we don't have to find one piece of equipment that's imported from China, from Asia, that everything's been made by men and women that are citizens of our great country. That's the goal for us, and that's what we goal here, is it's a family-friendly place. And many of you know that I love dogs, and we want it to be a pet-friendly place. And if you don't want to dine here, that you're walking along, we're going to have organic popsicles. And many of you probably don't know that my great-grandfather, his third son, Gustavo Hernandez, owned the tropical ice cream company. We're going to be making ice cream here as well, organic whenever possible. We're capturing the flavor of the Native Americans that lived here. In 1565, the young Native American princess Ulele, which this spring is named after, saved a young Spanish sailor, Juan Ortiz, 17 years old, from being put to death by her father, who was the chief. It was that compassion and empathy that she had that we hope to bring here. And that when we sought the name of the restaurant, is I love to come here, my faith tells me, and I pray along the spring. I said, come up, Lord, help me with a name. And I realized that my mother, who lived 4 blocks away, that my children and my brother's children knew her as Lele, L-E-L-E. That in her memory, this is my commitment. It's my effort, and she one time in the 500th anniversary of America being discovered, she had me speak to the to the Pillsbury cook-off, to all the food writers, and the history that she helped me learn, that before they discovered the New World, Italy didn't have tomatoes. How did they make their spaghetti? They brought it in from the Orient. That there was no chocolate and there was no corn. These are things that were here in this part of the country that we live in the New World. So it's my desire to fuse the Native American spirit and honor those people that practice sustainability, those people that truly cared for their land and restored it, and cared for one another, and they were truly a peaceful tribe. And incorporating it with those explorers that were descendants from Spain, and to hopefully combine a peaceful environment surrounding that we can celebrate life. This is more than just a restaurant. It's hopefully a legacy that I'll leave. And today I have my children, my grandchildren, my brother's children are here, that will be here continuing to be part of Tampa. What makes Tampa a great city? And I'm blessed to have known many of you here, and that you made the commitment to come on this beautiful day, and there will be 4 doors opening. So on behalf of my family, thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council, the citizens, for your belief.
We've heard from Richard, his passion, his vision for this property, and now we're going to hear from his partner, Casey, who's going to try to figure out how to pay for it.
Well, welcome to Ulele and to this wonderful project that we and the City of Tampa are going to bring to this wonderful City of Tampa for all the citizens to enjoy and be part of what's behind us. This gorgeous Hillsborough River. My brother and I would fish those waters and crab them and take them home to Mom, and she would prepare the fresh seafood that you're going to be having prepared over here. Maybe not quite as good as Mom, but it'll be close. We are excited. Richard told you, natives not only of City of Tampa, but I was born and lived up the street 5 blocks away with Casimiro and Carmen Hernandez, and born in the old St. Joseph Hospital. And that was my house, that was my universe, and we were so nearby this place that I didn't know what this place was until Richard said to me, he said, I have a vision, Casey, several months ago, and he says, whenever he says I have a vision, I get nervous, Dennis Fedorovich, our CFO, gets nervous. We all bite our lip and say, okay, well, what is it? And he drove me right from 7th Avenue down past my grandparents' house, which was a great, great omen for us. And within 5 blocks, we were at this great building. It's a big deal to us that you all are here today. I want you to look around. I want you to see what we've inherited and what we are going to revitalize with the help of the team from Beck, which are our next door neighbors. No better to have an architect and contractor that lives right next door. You can go over there, knock on the door if you need something. They've been wonderful from the beginning. Our respect is for our heritage and history and preserving this building as it was built over 100 years ago. The exterior is going to be identical to those days. The interior is going to have a look with a wonderful open fire cooking with citrus wood, and we're going to have oysters and shrimp and all kinds of items. Richard and I have been doing research. I've gained 30 pounds personally. I don't know how he kept the weight off, but we have researched recipes, and we're having another testing down the way, probably another week or so. And I think this menu is going to be something that you all are proud of. I think that you're going to love bringing your families, your kids, your grandkids here, looking on the spring. I can't imagine how gorgeous this is going to be when you're out there looking at this fresh natural water flowing out into the Hillsborough River for the first time in decades, and you're going to see the manatees, hopefully, and other fish and turtles and crabs come in, and you can go down there and look at them and enjoy it with your kids. The park is right next door. What a park. I mean, we look at it and go, oh, we didn't know it was going to be this wonderful and this big. So we have a park, we have the river, we've got a tasty place for you all to come in for lunch or dinner. And I personally haven't picked my table. A couple guys here want to pick their table, but we're going to be sitting outside too, you know, so it's not going to be just inside here. We'll be sitting right outside these doors looking out at that gorgeous view. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty cool, personally. Well, I want you to know that it is a job of passion. It goes beyond just another restaurant. People call us. Some guy wanted me to put a restaurant 300 feet up in the air somewhere. He called me up yesterday. I go, no, I don't want to go 300 feet up in the air. I want to be right here. So it's going to be convenient. It's going to be a gorgeous place where you're going to want to come and just spend a Sunday, or just bring your friends from out of town. And I hope you come in here a lot, and I look forward to sharing some of the food. And I got my first beer date with Steve Otto, wherever he is out there. So we're gonna have our first beer together. So thank you all for your confidence. Thank you all for your support, and thank you all for your enthusiasm, which spreads among our whole family. When our children and our grandchildren come here, they're going to be very proud of being part of what this is in Tampa and what this means to Tampa, and how we're opening up a new opportunity to enjoy Tampa with the Riverwalk and the connections to Strass Center. My gosh, I mean, you get there in 5 minutes. I think that all of this area is going to be excited, and this is just the beginning. This is not the last place that's going to be built out here. I guarantee you that. I know there's going to be a lot more to come, and I applaud the mayor and the council for their vision, and I think that this is something that maybe we're a pioneer, but like I said, hell, I was born here 65 years ago, so this is my neighborhood. So I know what this is all about. So God bless you all. God bless the city of Tampa, and God bless Ulele and the spring, and I can't wait to get in that park and play with the kids along with your kids. Thank you.
The person who's been pushing the rock up the hill on this vision has been our mayor, and I'd like him to say a few words, please.
You guys excited? All right. Bob, thank you. And obviously, as you can see from the passion of the Gonzmart family, why we picked them as our partners in this deal. You know, part of my job as mayor is to ask the question why. But a more important part of my job is to ask the question why not. And when I saw this building, and you know, most of you know I've been around for a long time, and so I've had a lot of time to look at what this city is doing, where it's going. Certainly for 8 years I had a lot of time to look. I knew that from day one that we were going to find a way to get this done. I knew from day one that if we did this, this would be a transformative project in the Tampa Heights area. It would be a transformative project for this Riverwalk. I had the same feelings about the old federal courthouse. I knew from the day that I took office that we were going to find a way to get that building done, and we are. And 18 months from now, there'll be a new 120-room boutique hotel in a building that is probably the most historically significant building in downtown Tampa. And the same is true for this building. This building will provide the synergy and the energy to anchor the Tampa Heights and the north end of our river, a river that we've turned our back on for decades, a river that is now emerging as the center of our urban experience, a river that is now the focal point for everything that we do. It gives us a competitive advantage. It gives us the ability to not only focus all of our energies and our activities along the waterfront, but to incent private sector capital to come to the table and to build. It's not just the East Bank, it's the West Bank as well. Casey and Richard, 10 years from now, the urban experience will stretch from Howard and Armenia to the West Bank of the river, from the East Bank of the river to Ybor City. Everyone will be connected. We will live, work, and play in the same environment. We will have mass transit. We will have a river that is the center of our downtown experience, not the western edge. Those bridges will be conduits and connectors, not obstacles. We'll have a major university in the University of Tampa that is growing by leaps and bounds and employing people and educating people. North Hyde Park, Riverside Heights will be rebuilt and redeveloped as we tear down North Boulevard homes and create an environment there for those young children that is worthy of Tampa. When you look at the West Bank of the river and you see that we own 148 acres, the government, and the opportunity to recreate that environment and create that live, work, and play environment, not at the same density as the central business district, but as a place that people are proud to call home, where retail and commercial exist, where we rebuild Main Street and Howard and Armenia, two historic corners in our community. This is important stuff. This river is the center of everything that we do. When we build, we shouldn't build for ourselves. We build for future generations. For these Gonzmart grandkids, for that sixth generation of Gonzmarts that have believed in this community and invested in this community, for my two kids, for your kids, and for your grandkids, ultimately it's not about us. It's about them. And our job, Richard and Casey, and the Gonzmart family, and to all of you that made this happen, is to leave this city in better shape than it was given to us. That's what we do every day. That's why I ran for this job. That's why he gets up and does what he does every day. Not for himself, but for them. This is not the end. This is the beginning. 10 years from now, they're going to look on this river and they'll say, this is where it started. This is where it began. This is where we transformed this community. This is where we took our place amongst great American cities. Because I am not going to stand for second best. We're going to get there. Thank you, Gonzmart, for believing. And thank you to our staff, who I push hard. I know that. But it's all about getting stuff done. We only have a little time on this earth. Let's make it productive. Thanks, everybody.